My name's Mary Lily.
I'm Marshall.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we're the hosts of Unveiled Opinions.
Three newly and almost wed girlies with a podcast on any and everything wedding related.
All right, welcome back, girlies. How's everybody's week been?
It's going.
It's stellar. Daylight savings still kind of hitting, but
I know.
I got a new heating pad from Amazon.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's way bigger than my old one.
And I feel like your old one was pretty big.
Eleanor came over the other day and she was like, why do you have a heating pad on? Like, do you have an injury or something? And I was like, no.
It's just part of your daily routine.
Yeah.
Like, I just like that.
It's part of the couch rot.
Well,
So, big things at my house.
seriously, any wedding headlines?
We're doing our welcome bags this week, my mom and I. That's just because we're like crazy, like planning ahead.
Yeah.
And then also because like I have no storage and my parents have no storage really either. So we're storing them at someone else's house in the mountains. So we're like going to get them done and out of here.
Well, that's nice of them.
Well, good. Well, today we're going to dive into a fun topic that I feel like can bring a lot of emotions.
Very controversial.
Yes. So we're going to talk about figuring out how to put together your wedding guest list, which I feel like can be a little bit of a political debate. So hopefully we are going to give you some perspectives, give you some tips on what we did and lessons learned to make it a little more fun. So the obvious place, getting started. I think one of the things, and we talked about it a little bit last week, after like, okay, you get engaged, what do? You start thinking about your budget, your venue, all of those fun things. And, you know, one of the big pieces of putting that experience together is actually starting the list with your fiance.
Right. Well, I feel like every vendor who asks you, their first question is, what's your head count? Like, so that's just a huge thing right away that you have to know off the bat when you start planning.
At least a ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did y'all get started on just like putting that together with your fiancés and husbands?
Well, I think we started by first, obviously, like immediate family, just like making a list of, I have a small family, he has a big family, so immediate to him is a little different than me. And then we did
How did you define that?
So, like I said, mine's very small. I don't have any really first cousins or anything. So it was just like my brother, my parents, and then like my dad's cousins that we like. And then
we like.
Emphasis on that. But then my husband's family, like he has a ton of cousins, and ours was kind of like, if I haven't met them, and we've been together for 4 years at this point, if I haven't met them, I don't really want to be saying, hi, nice to meet you at my wedding. That was my big rule. I was like, if I have not met them or you have not talked to them within the last year, no, that's going to be a no-go for me. So that's how we did it. And there was also, I was not very strict on it. A lot of ninjas slipped through the cracks there. So, but that's just kind of how we tried.
What
about y'all?
The best efforts.
Yeah.
That was my same thing too. I was like, if I haven't met them in the past 3 years, I don't want to be meeting them day of.
Yeah.
And if you don't talk to them consistently, then they probably will understand not being there.
Yeah. Like, if I haven't met them, do they even know I exist? You know, like, why would they want to come? Why would they want to, like, spend the money to come to someone's out-of-town wedding if they don't even know me? I mean, I would go, but.
You love a party.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
What about you, Mary Lily?
Well, like I said, my fiance is one of 4 and he's the last wedding. So there were a few wedding lists of their families to kind of comb through and pick our people, which was a blessing and a curse because we did have some addresses that were like years old. My fiance like thought it was hilarious to like laugh about it to my parents after like a bunch got returned. I was like, I don't think they think it's as funny as you do.
Yeah.
No.
But
The cost of postage.
stamps.
yeah, and like the cost of the save the dates, the
Yeah.
cost of the postage.
'Cause it's not the normal stamp.
realize
No.
this? No, he doesn't.
No, they don't know.
So we had that to work with, but Matthew, we had a much smaller wedding than his brother who had a wedding before him. I mean, not that much smaller. So our ballpark we're hoping to get to is 180. Our list of invited is 200. So like 200 is a small wedding for his family.
Yeah.
And then basically my parents took up the rest of my list, and I think I got like 4 guests that weren't like my bridesmaids. Because my parents really think they don't think this. Well, I guess they think it. They're under the impression that this is their wedding and not mine. Yeah. That's their understanding.
That's a little bit how my parents were too, though, because my brother, I forgot, he had just got married a year and a half before I did. And so we did kind of take the cousins that he invited that did not come. And so they did not get an invitation to my wedding. But my parents invited. I think my parents had probably more friends there than I did besides my wedding party. Like, because they weren't allowed to invite any to my brother's wedding.
Oh my gosh.
So they definitely were like, well, here's our shot.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good point too, because there was something I read that says that anything above 150 is considered a big wedding, which I was honestly kind of
Shocked.
surprised
Yeah.
because I think especially in the South, like weddings are very large. Your brother-in-law's wedding, I think, was like 500 people. That's not uncommon, right?
Oh, it didn't end up. I think they sent out like 400 invitations.
Yeah. Marshall, what was your head count from kind of the invited to actual?
So I think we invited like 125, 130, and we had 100 that came, which is perfect. That's really what I wanted. And yeah, that's when we looked at venues, I think we didn't look at anything. I think the biggest was like they could accommodate 150. So
Did you have a lot of people drop out like weekend of, day of?
no, we really didn't. We only had one couple that said they were coming that ended up just not coming. It was on Gil's family side, but it was weird because their parents came. And and like we have not talked to them since. Not like we haven't reached out. They literally have like ghosted us. So like I don't know if they feel embarrassed or what, but that was really the only thing. I didn't have anyone else tell me like week of or anything that they couldn't come, which was nice. But my planner did say that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So like I think they said they have like a 10 to 15 like person, like almost cushion that they give like the caterers and stuff. So
I was told like that you like, I'm doing stations. I'm not doing a seated dinner. So like I've been told by people who are like, yeah, you tell like them just like 10 people less because like people won't show up, or like a lot of people are like coming for just a drink and like glass of champagne, like toast to you, and then they're leaving, like they're not getting dinner, or you know, just like people our age who are just drinking and not eating that much.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was what we did for the welcome party too, because it's just like people will come. It'll average out.
yeah.
Like my grandmother doesn't drink.
Right.
Also, we have like a lot of sober friends.
We did too.
Like, it's like, why are we paying? We're doing consumption too. Like, why are we paying $55 a head for liquor when like half of these people don't drink? Not half, but like
a good
half
amount.
of Gil's family doesn't. And so we had like the champagne wall to like get to like your table or whatever. And that we had to make sure that they didn't get champagne. Like it was like non-alcoholic. But
that's tricky.
Yeah. But Gil's aunt actually.
You're like on the card,
I
on
know.
the reply card. You're like, please reply if you drink alcohol.
Well, I thankfully
and
I just
do you
know.
want meat or fish?
I know. Thankfully, I just like know, but I did like tell my planners. I was like, these people do not drink alcohol. Like, please do not serve them alcohol. So I don't know what they did with that info. So I hope it worked out. But yeah, the same thing. Like Gil's aunt, she came for the ceremony and cocktail hour like part of it, but didn't stay for dinner.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like the head count is a little bit like it does fluctuate. So
Yeah, it does. And I think that's one of the things, like as you're getting started, looking at venues, building your list, the like general rule of thumb is it's about 20% of guests that are invited will not attend. That obviously will vary depending on like the season, if it's a destination wedding, how far out you are, and all that stuff.
very true.
So we talked a little bit about it. Mary Lily, I know your parents think the wedding is their wedding.
Yes, it is their wedding.
It is their wedding.
You're just invited.
I like have threatened to elope a lot or not show up, which I do to most events. And my mom has told me that there will be a party on that day at that venue if I'm there or not. So I guess I'll be there. I bought the outfits.
So as it kind of relates to like the parents, I feel like that was one of the parts that was like where it really started to not get fun for me, at least.
I agree.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Matthew's mom was very hands off, which was nice. She was like, I just want my supper club there. And then like whoever, like this is my 4th wedding. I mean, so I like didn't even look at it. Matthew like slashed it in half. I don't think he even knows who's invited to our wedding from his side. It's like just a little awkward, but we're rolling with it.
That's
like
good.
we didn't invite half his uncles or something.
Yeah, no, there's like definitely half. I think it must be Gil's mom's side
Right.
because apparently it's a really big side. Also, I've never met
Well,
most
Matthew
of them.
has a lot of cousins. He's
Yeah.
like, I want to hang out with my cousins, not my uncle who like can't get up and dance. Like he's 80.
The young, fun ones is who he wants there.
Yeah. Which my dad is thrilled about.
Yes, I'm sure.
So how did you start the conversation with your parents? Like, or how did they start the conversation with you?
Oh, my parents told me that this was the budget and this was the head count that was our budget, basically. And also, like, we talked about the venue too. So I said on the last episode that I knew my venue and had my date and everything prior to. And, you know, we're really familiar with the property and stuff. So we had spoken to people just about weddings there before, and they kind of were like, if you have more than 180, like, it's just too many people in the space.
Yeah.
And my dad clung to that, like, for dear life, being like, sorry, we can't have more than 180. Like, they said it's terrible in the space. But also, like, pro tip, if you, like, have a mother-in-law who wants 1 million people, like,
That's a good excuse.
yeah, say the venue is, like, at capacity.
I said that several times.
Yeah. And, like, it is expensive per person. I
Yeah.
mean, it
It
basically
is.
does define the budget, which is how, you know, my parents, like, were basically like, this is your budget. But, yeah, I mean, it is the defining factor, I feel like.
The head count is definitely what makes your budget.
Yeah.
It makes or breaks. Like, I feel like, I mean, my planner told me that, which I feel like you know that kind of, but you don't realize it until you start getting those RSVPs back. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, yes, steak. Yes.
Yeah, and, like, everybody wants to come. Or everyone you see is like, oh, my God, when's your wedding? I'm like, don't write that down.
Yeah.
This is not your safe
Don't
date.
mark that down. You don't need to come. I'm like, something else can come before it. Like,
Yeah.
You can go to that.
Oh, my God. You can come to a party.
I know. I was like, Mom, should we send out save the dates or no?
Oh, I didn't want to.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I want people to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I know. But it's also,
But it does limit.
it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't save it that much.
Did y'all have like an A list and a B list?
No.
I didn't either.
I
No.
just, I
Is that like,
had
I feel
heard
like that's
of
like
people
a
doing
COVID
that.
thing too, though.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I had a friend who got invited and was part of the B list, and she was like aware because she got the invitation, no save the date, and the invitation was sent to her past the date that RSVPs were requested.
Oh my
by.
gosh.
But I'm also like, we're requesting RSVPs for 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like whatever.
I think mine was too.
And I'm like, so you got a wedding invitation
Like 2
3
weeks
weeks
before,
before?
right?
Like,
Did she go?
yeah. I mean, but she
was like,
she
whatever.
was
Yeah.
very open about it.
Okay.
I like won't name names. She was like, I mean, I'm like aware.
Yeah.
Like at this point, so we didn't get to save the date. Like there, she was like, but like whatever, we'll go have fun. Like
Yeah.
she's like, me and my boyfriend are like fun like dates anyways. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you too.
I mean, I guess if you don't like have to go super far
Travel,
or
yeah.
like if it was like a hometown.
It was just in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But-
that's like a fun little weekend.
I feel like I'd be offended.
I just feel like it's like really rude.
I think it's rude.
I just
Or have
can't
you
imagine
heard-
being like, hey, also the reason why allegedly is because another wedding was happening the same weekend and it was like from the same school. So they thought a lot of people RSVP'd.
it would be like an
no.
overlap. Yeah.
So they were like, I'm pretty sure like so many people are not coming to their wedding that's why
Oh, that's awkward.
they got extra invites out. I'm like, that is even more awkward.
Yeah.
Because
You
it's-
thought someone was going to choose
expected-
someone else's wedding over yours?
Yeah, people chose other people's wedding over yours. So now, like, will you come to mine? Because, like, some people don't want to come to mine.
Oh my gosh.
Ew.
Yeah, I didn't have.
Yeah.
I just had one list, but I also have had friends that have been invited to out of town weddings. They were not invited to the ceremony, and not like it was like a private, like family only ceremony. They were just invited to the reception.
I think a lot of people do that now, but I think some of it is because they don't think people want to come to the ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to do, like, transportation or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Especially if that's true, if you don't want to like pay for the transportation. But I mean, I guess I wouldn't be as offended by that.
All of Matthew's friends, like, laugh about skipping the ceremony. I'm like, you'll die. Like, I don't care.
You will not be allowed into the reception.
I'm like, there will be a picture of you at the door. And
Yeah, you,
it'll say
you should like
keep
have a
out.
quiz. At
Yeah.
Seriously.
What were
Were you there?
Test
What
me.
were specifically in their
Yeah.
vows?
Yeah.
If you can't recite them, you can't come in.
Oh, I can't come in.
Yeah. I'm like, what was the
I like
reading
black
about?
out at ceremonies. Barely remember my own.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that is one thing. Like, what do you wish that you considered when starting the process and starting your list?
This is something that you told me, actually, Caitlin, after you were looking over my list. And you were like, a lot of these look like men that are Matthew's friends. And I was like, yeah, so annoying. And you were like, none of them are going to bring you gifts. And all these old people will bring you gifts. And, like, will actually, like, might not come. And I'm like, you know what? I need people that aren't going to come and that are going to send a gift.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
best
that's my
case
kind of
scenario.
party.
Like a wedding
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah.
So then I, flipped it, changed it, rearranged it a little bit. I went, who is this? I never heard of this guy.
Never met this person.
better be a good gift.
I never heard of these people in my life. He's
Yeah.
like, I went to college with them. I'm like, 10 years ago. Have you spoken to them since? We're not, still haven't clued in on that.
I think Gil had like 2 people from college, and I had met them, so it was like fine.
Yeah.
No, I had like Matthew's mom like go over with me. I was like, should we hook them off?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some people we forgot.
Same.
I'm like, no wonder we were able to get to this number and like didn't get in a fight. Like you just like erased people. I don't even think he looked.
We actually ended up going through like Instagram and stuff to like try and see if that, because it seemed too easy there for a moment, and there was like 20 people we forgot, like
Yeah.
100%. But I think I should have been stricter with Gil's family about a
Yeah.
number. That's my bad. I really just thought that they would
Right.
like understand that this is like the head count. Like
Yeah.
it was
That
like
was their first wedding. Oh,
no, it
second.
wasn't. Yeah. And they were like a month out. Can we invite this person? Can we invite that? I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
I just had to like relate. I was like, Gil, you're going to have to talk to him.
What was your process like, Kate? Like, did your parents give you a number or like how did you and Kyle approach it?
We started, my mom, that was one of the things that Janine did before I got engaged, was started the list.
Oh,
Yeah, my
That's
mom
smart,
had a
though.
list from my sisters.
my mom had one
yeah.
from my
Yeah.
brothers.
And she had it like super organized. And she was super cautious about like only inviting her friends that I know and have a relationship with. And so that, like, there wasn't anybody
Very thoughtful.
that I was like, who is this person on our side? And then there were a lot of people on Kyle's side because since he's from Kansas,
What does that have to do with anything?
it's far away.
Yeah. So like you hadn't met them, is that what
I
you're saying?
hadn't, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't meet a lot of people
Yeah.
until the
I
wedding.
thought you meant he was inviting a lot of people because he was from Kansas. I was
They're
like,
just super outgoing out there. Like,
Very
It's like,
welcoming.
you're like trying to like, say they have a lot of kids.
Humble,
Like Mormons.
they don't use birth control out there. Like,
no Mormons that I know of in the family, but
I was just heavy breathing, laughing. Oh, cringe.
get that mouth tape.
yeah. So that piece of the process was pretty good. Kyle did have a few people, and there was just like the back and forth of like, does this person really need to be invited? But I feel like our collective list of friends was like very easy to put together because it was like, who do we actually hang out with? There were a few that I was like, I feel like we could do without these people.
Oh my God, you guys, so many people I said that about, but
Don't you think though, like once you start, like you have your core group of friends and stuff, but then once you start delving into the other groups, it's like you can't invite these people without inviting those people.
Yeah.
That's what we ran into.
and
So we didn't invite the
Matthew
group.
decides to be a regular at a bar.
Yeah.
So there are some people that like we see every day, but I'm like, well, I do not see them every day.
Yeah.
I'm not the regular.
You're not the alcoholic in this situation.
That Matthew sees on a weekly basis that I'm like, they are not our close friends.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're not like coming to the wedding. I know you like give them a high five once a week. But,
Yeah.
like, they don't need to be like at my wedding ceremony.
No, Gil did that
Thanks.
thing too, where we would also have our bar friends, and he would get drunk and be like, "You want to come?" And I'd be like, "Can I come to your wedding?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." Marshall, send him an invitation. I was like, "Shut up!" Like I'm
know.
standing in the corner,
Matthew,
like,
too.
absolutely not.
Matthew
Like, never met a
freaked out the other
stranger.
day. I was like,
Yes.
oh, like they didn't make the list, but they were on the cusp. It was for a party. It wasn't even the wedding. These people are on the wedding list. And Matthew's like, oh my God, I'm sure people will cancel. Like, do you want to come? I'm like, oh
my
my,
God.
you're making
Yeah.
this so awkward
Yeah,
for them.
and I'm like, I don't know their last name, let alone their address. Like,
boys, guys.
Seriously.
I mean, Juicy
Sorry.
J's.
Sorry, we got really on topic.
Yeah.
Caitlin probably is like the best way to go about something. Caitlin is like, her and
Organized.
Kyle are like therapy minded. Caitlin's like, are you comfortable? Do you have some like water with electrolytes? Let's have a seat with our perfect golden retriever and talk.
Yeah, he hates that.
Caitlin's like, I made you some AG1. Sit down.
Take a seat. We're going to chat. Get ready for some open-ended questions.
Caitlin's like, we could journal before.
We're going to get deep.
Get your bullet journal out.
Kyle's like, can I bring like some tools and like some flies to tie while I have to like sit here and listen to you?
No.
Yeah, Kyle's like, do you think I could tinker on a project while we have this conversation?
Caitlin is like a trained coach. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, so you're like, you have all of these like ways of doing things.
Like techniques that
yes,
you know.
yes.
To make people talk.
Caitlin's going to get it out of you.
Yeah. One way or another.
Tell me everything, Kyle. Our process overall, I do feel like sharing the list with the in-laws and setting that up
Oh, yeah.
were probably some lessons learned. But in hindsight, like there were definitely moments where I was like, literally, who are these people? And
I'm going to need a definition.
yeah, like
Friend of groom doesn't
Yeah.
work.
yeah, like when was the last time we've spoken to them? Like, do they
Yeah.
know anything about me?
Yeah. I make Gil pull up text. I'm like, when's the last time you text this person?
Oh my
Marshall,
God.
you're so
No.
much better than me.
Seriously,
No, because
that's good though.
It was
Matthew will
getting
be
to
like,
the
his
point.
kid has cancer. I'd be like,
What?
what does that have to do with him coming to our wedding?
No,
You
Gil
haven't
be like,
spoken
you
to
know
They
him.
should be on a budget.
I didn't even know the kid that you had a friend with a kid with cancer. Like I feel like I would know that.
Yeah. Gil was like, you know this person. You met them 4 times ago when we went down to see my parents. And I was like, I don't remember that. So
Yeah.
that doesn't count.
Yeah, if it was like at a bar past midnight.
Yeah. I was like, was the sundown?
Yeah.
Okay,
Was the
no.
sundown?
Unless we had
They were a bar
brunch
friend.
the
Yeah.
next day.
Another
like,
bar friend. Yeah. But a bar friend in a different state? Absolutely not.
That's just egregious.
Yeah.
Did y'all, for the actual list itself, did you share it out with people, like your parents, or were you just like, send me the names?
I was like, send me the names.
Well, mine was different again because they like had a previous list,
Yeah.
so we kind of like got them, and then you guys were kind of like, be careful sharing the list, like kind of wait. So I was able to like really get my ducks in a row.
Yeah.
I feel like before I shared the list, but again, my mother-in-law was really nice about it,
Yeah.
and she was like, "It's my 4th wedding, like,
Yeah.
and I'm the groom's mother," so she was very chill. So I didn't really have any issues, but
yeah.
I was like cautious about it by way of your advice.
Yeah. The advice that I gave you as a result of not taking it.
Yeah, Caitlin was traumatized. She was
said,
like, hold on to
"Whatever
that
you do."
list for
Yeah.
dear life.
Yeah. Literally.
Take it to the grave. Marshall, you kept yours pretty close knit, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Like I said, my brother got married before, so my parents had all the people they had wished to invite that they were not allowed to. So they had all that squared away. And then, of course I got like my dad's family and everything. Like we knew exactly who to invite from them just because they all talk all the time. Like, they're part of our lives. Gil's family, I just was like, send me the people you want, and
Marshall's like, and I'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
and I'll send
see
you
what
an
the numbers are
application
looking-
process.
I know.
She's like, I'll look up their photos and
was like,
their tax brackets, and I'll let you know.
And then I'll review the text messages.
It was literally, it was so great at first because I was like, it's too easy though. Like I got the names, it's great. And then it just like people kept being like, oh, well, what about them? What about them? What about them? Like I said, up until like a month before the wedding, I was like, guys, no.
Well, now that's me, which is the worst thing. I'm like, oh my God, we forgot them. Should we add them? And Matthew's like, you told me to cut people. Like, really? Did you think we weren't forgetting people?
Yeah.
I guess. Like,
I realized I forgot something.
200 is a lot of people.
Yeah. And also, it's just like when you're looking at that list so much that like it almost just starts to look like gibberish at some point.
Yeah.
Right. And I also do not love a crowd. It's just like not my thing. So I like if I could have had a smaller wedding, I guess I would, but I also wouldn't.
Yeah.
Unclear.
I feel like I get that completely because it's like our wedding ended up being about 170. And I didn't say hello to everybody that night. We had a welcome party the night before.
Yeah.
That's like I went to Ole Miss and then I would go to basketball games at Davidson with my grandmother, and Davidson was like so small and like they had all these like cool little traditions. And I'm like, why did I really need to go to a SEC school? I could have just gone here. I don't know. But, that was that.
But you didn't do that.
Hotty. I loved it.
Yeah. That was actually one of my mom's things. She was like, you want to make sure that you're able to talk to everyone and really thank them for being there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure we've all been to really big weddings before.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I was at a
feels
400-person wedding. And
Yeah,
it
same.
felt so it was just like we hung out with our friend group. Like I did not feel like this is going to be weird, but like the need to be polite to any of the adults.
Yeah.
Like they weren't in proximity to me.
No,
It
it
felt
was like
a
very
kids'
almost
party.
segregated. Like, like the parents left super, and it almost just didn't even feel like a wedding. I don't know what it was. It was like a
No one
really
danced
like a gala,
at the
yeah.
one
That's
that I
how
was
this-
at that
and it
was
was
so
a
big. It was
great
almost like there
band.
was too many
team
people.
Yeah.
That's how this one was. And I was
Like the dance floor always looked full, and then you got on the dance floor and it
It's like
felt
nobody was
empty.
there.
Yeah.
That's how this one was. And then we just went out to the bars afterwards because we were like, well, we're out. Like, but I feel like the 100 to 200 is a good
Right.
number. Like, it's big enough.
You have to say that. Thanks.
I mean, I don't know if I know 200 people, but you do. So. How are y'all with like plus ones?
Yeah. Let's talk some wedding taboos. Plus ones.
Marshall, I know, is so harsh about it. Probably.
No, I wasn't. Actually, everyone got a plus one.
Oh, yeah.
except
You were actually
for-
really nice about it. I forget.
Well, it was an out of town wedding. That was like a big thing. I was like,
Yes.
and a lot of my friends, not a lot, but some of them were single. And I was like, I
Yeah.
want you to have a good time. I don't have to have met your plus one. I don't
Right.
care. Actually, only one person, I think, utilized the plus one. And she brought a friend that like I also was friends with.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, everyone got a plus one. Gil did have a couple of family members.
Did you like that, though, that she brought one of your friends that
She
you did not
wasn't
invite?
my friend. I know her through.
Yes.
So, but it's not like close enough that she would
makes
have.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I also I saw that at a wedding before,
I
and
have
I was
seen
like,
it. It's a little weird.
I didn't like it at first, and then one of my sorority sisters who really doesn't know anybody,
Yeah.
was invited. I gave her a plus one and kind of expected her to bring a
Yeah.
friend, and she came and like rocked it on her own. But I was like, I want you to have fun to
I
that
want you to
point
be comfortable,
too.
yeah.
and
Well,
if that
that-
means bringing somebody,
and it's like,
bring them.
and like out of town, if you don't want to travel by yourself.
Okay,
like,
cool. Well, you guys had a bunch of room for plus ones.
no,
Yeah, because I have like
I only
4
gave
friends.
plus ones to like people like in serious relationships.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
kind of annoying. 'cause,
That's
like
that's normal.
That's
some
normal.
of Matthew's
Yeah.
friends who have been single for so long,
Yeah.
like got in serious relationships like right when we got
Right.
engaged. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding?
Perfect
You-
timing.
Yeah. Now you have to bring these, but I like them.
Yeah, but that's normal
But,
what you're doing.
Like,
Yeah.
Will, I'm sorry, babe. you're not getting a +1. He knows. But then like also that factored into me inviting some people. Like one of my friends who is single and like she's not like in really our friend group. I feel like she's just kind of like I'm friends with her, but like she wouldn't know a lot of people at the wedding. I'm like, do you really want to travel out of town? I wouldn't give you a +1. You'd have to pay for your own hotel room and come to a wedding you don't want to be at. Like, I feel like that's like, and then does she then feel bad if she's not coming?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I feel bad. I wouldn't want to come maybe either. So like that played a role in me like, well, not that I got a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mom and dad. But
Thanks.
I like could have like kicked some people off Matthews if I really needed to. You know what I mean? But I was like,
I did get an RSVP from someone that didn't have a +1 and they added a +1.
oh my gosh.
It was on Gil's side. And so I literally sent him a
hilarious.
picture and I was like, I need you to take care of this
Oh my gosh.
right now.
Wait, Caitlin has a funny story about RSVP.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's two things that I remembered. So one of them was my dad, there was like boundaries on work people that were invited because I used to work with some of those people. And so we kept it pretty tight knit. And he was at an event and somebody came up to him who was not in that kind of small group and was like, we can't wait to be at the wedding. We can't wait to celebrate Caitlin. Like, you know, we've got this on our calendar.
And sweet Tim just nodded along.
And we were doing a sit down dinner. And so it was like, assigned seating. You can't really let this fly as easily. And my mom called the planner in a panic and was like, what do we do? And so.
No, I thought they called your mom and asked what the dress code was.
Yeah, they did that too after they talked to my dad.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it wasn't just they talked to her dad. So like said all that to your dad and then they called her mom. They weren't invited to the wedding.
Like
And they were
never
like-
got
they were like-
save the day.
So no wonder they didn't know the
The
dress,
dress
Yeah.
code.
the attire.
They sent a gift though. They ended up not being able to come
because they weren't invited.
because there was a whole
I
backup
forgot
plan.
that. I remember that.
Yeah.
but they
they
sent a nice gift.
They sent a lovely gift.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, well wishes.
Yeah.
We like them that's our kind of guest.
Yeah. Don't come.
Yeah, you weren't even invited.
Yeah. But
Send a gift.
Love the thought.
we love that. So with that, I guess the one last thing that we talked a lot about is like politely limiting guests. And we referenced a few easy things, one of which is like just blame the planner, blame the venue. Like just put it on somebody else.
Blame your parents if they're paying for it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you've been battling with them
Yeah.
for 6 months of your engagement.
Yeah.
So the
Blame
whole
everything
time.
for them.
Blame everything. I also think just like you can say like, oh, we had a specific number of people of like on each family side. What I love in hindsight is my dad, I guess, told people that we were having a small wedding and that's why they weren't invited.
Matthew keeps telling people we're having a small wedding. He's like, sorry, we're having a tiny wedding. I'm like,
Gil said that to people
what
too.
are they going to say when they see we're not like
It's
in
not
a chapel
tiny.
in the
It's
woods?
not like 40 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't Carolyn Bessette.
Yeah.
Matthew acts like it's like,
Like y'all are practically eloping.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wish.
Oh, how many times did I say, let me just go to Vegas?
All right. Well, last time we looked at brides.com on some of their tips. So we're going to mix.
Weren't exactly experts.
Yeah, we didn't trust them. So we're going to look at the Knot and look at their tips for creating your wedding guest list. Number one, actually like this one, write out your list drafted separately.
Yeah. I don't really get it, what it means, you mean.
Like the bride and groom write their list separately.
And like for your family, like
So
your
write-
parents
your
would
parents
write.
right there. So
Yeah,
everyone
writes their own
separately.
list.
And you just give every single person a number.
I don't know. I feel like if it came to me, I would just start deleting people.
Yeah, that's hard because then you have to like give everyone a number right away.
I know. I feel like my
is
number
tricky.
evolved so many times.
Yeah,
My number got deleted.
canceled. They said,
Bye.
Mary Lily, you can be here. And that's about it.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, can Jay come? No, I literally like, I'm like,
Is he?
Is he invited?
I don't remember.
All right. Well, I
Maybe
feel
see
like
him there.
And that's on being a bride.
Well, I think writing it out like separately, at least even if it's you and your groom.
Right. Because I would like peer pressure and gaslight my groom.
Yeah.
And Caitlin would not approve of that.
I think Bill did send me like an Excel spreadsheet, and I was like, I don't need this. But
Okay. Well, tip number 2 then, utilize a guest list manager. What did y'all use to set it up?
Excel.
Excel.
Yeah.
It was something my planner gave me.
I think I
don't know.
accidentally actually used Google Sheets. My mom has no idea how to use it though. So that's terrible.
Yeah. I ran into that too when we
I feel like
shared
my
it.
mom had like the list written down, like handwritten.
Yeah, my mom did too.
Or something. I was
And
like,
I also had all my notes app. I had like 14 lists.
oh my gosh, not me.
And then I
Yeah.
also
I
had
said,
it
Mom,
from
here's a spreadsheet. You fill it in. Here's the little titles. Like, don't like click too much.
Don't click too much.
I think my mom actually sent me her like Christmas card, like a dress book. As part of it. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this is a lot.
I think my mom has all her contacts in her Outlook, actually. Like, that's
Yeah.
like an older person
Yeah.
thing.
It is. Plus their hearts.
Yeah. At least they're still sending birthday cards.
Sweet.
As long as there's
Sweet.
cash in it.
Yeah. I think you definitely have to have something. It's just a matter of like what works for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Tip number 3, go with your gut.
Yes.
Not sure if that's really.
I just feel like, how is that possible?
I mean,
Yeah.
like going with my gut would have been like crossing so many people off the list and offending everyone.
Well,
like,
I guess
I
it's
can't
like go
do
with
that.
your gut on what kind of wedding you want. You know what I mean? If you want a
thought it was
small
guest
wedding,
list.
like
Yeah.
stick to your
Yeah.
guns. But you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like if you want a small wedding, like stick with your guns. If you want a big wedding,
I
like,
do feel like that is hard though.
Yeah. Wait, and this is like reading the sub stuff. It says connect with your partner about what matters the most to you and let those priorities inform your wedding guest list creation.
Oh my God, Caitlin, sounds like you wrote that.
Caitlin actually wrote this whole thing. She is
Scam.
a guest
This is
artist.
self-promotion.
She's a guest writer for The Knot.
Which I think, how do you go with your gut when it's like
Caitlin, which I'm like,
emotion?
yes. Me
She's
and my
like-
partner connected.
No, but like I feel like the difference is also like what I consider a friend and what Gil considers a friend.
Oh my God,
Oh my-
men think anyone is
Everyone's
their
like,
friend.
everybody's
Sir,
a friend.
You met them twice in passing. They're
Yeah.
not your friend.
They don't need to see us get married.
No.
They
No.
probably don't want to.
No.
They're probably like, why the hell am I invited
They're
to
not
this?
looking into this. One time I had to go to a wedding with Caitlin's brother as his plus one, and he did not know why he was invited. And we felt very awkward, let me tell
sure you
you. It was
did.
weird that we were there. It was odd.
But you went.
But we went.
But you went, so-
Sean dragged me to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee,
I feel like I
which is
remember
where
when we went to that.
Dollywood is.
Yes.
For those wondering, the bride and groom had no connection to Pigeon Forge at all.
just chose it on a
Weren't
map.
living there, and they got married in a field.
And then didn't they exchange Coca-Cola?
Yes, they had Jack and Coke on the altar. I don't want to give too much away. I don't want them to listen. We have no. I don't even know if Sean knows who they are anymore. Like that's how much it was. Like, why the hell are we here?
So
Yeah.
he was probably invited. Like the groom was like, we're friends.
No, they
Yeah,
they
they were
met at
friends.
work years before and went to one tailgate together.
That is the
hilarious.
most man thing I've ever heard.
It seriously
No,
is.
but Sean rented a car and
He's like, yeah, we're
got
going.
a hotel room.
Wouldn't miss it. Wouldn't miss a party. Well,
Jeez.
I think that's a perfect wrap on our guest list. Don't
Don't invite randos.
Yeah, don't invite
And don't let your
randos.
men-
And if
And
you don't
don't-
want kids there, don't have them.
don't have them and don't feel bad about it.
No.
Yeah, go with your gut.
Go with your
Yeah.
gut.
That's from Caitlin at the Knot.
Yeah. Should we thumbs up that article?
But if anyone could go look that up, get some views. But those are our unveiled opinions on everything.
Wedding and guest list related.
Yeah, you make the list.
Make the list. Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.